Good morning. This is Mark Vruno with the Cannata Report, here with another edition of Fridays with Frank. And before we bring out Frank, again, just want to encourage you to like, subscribe, comment, share, and if you have questions, let Frank or myself know. Good morning, Frank. We're gonna flip the tables here, and you're gonna ask me some questions. It sounds like today.
Oh, I am, Mark. Oh, I didn't know I had to do that today. I don't have a lot prepared. Well, for our good friends out there who tune in and seem to enjoy watching us do our thing every Friday. This, of course, is Mark Vruno, our new editor-in-chief, who is replacing Scott in that role. And Scott, uh, I have to comment and say, great job in terms of creating this. I want everybody to know this was strictly Scott Cullen's idea. In fact, the first time he said, we should do a Fridays with Frank. I said, are you out of your mind? what the hell is Fridays with Frank? He said, I just talk for a few minutes on the topics of the day. And I said, people are really going to want to watch that? He said, yeah, I think so. Let's do it. I said, hey, Scott, anything's worth a try. And the way it took off, I said, good for you, Scott, because I sure as hell would have never done it on my own. So thanks for that. And so we're continuing on. And I guess the thing that I'm most interested in hearing from you, you've watched a few of these episodes. What's your sense of it so far?
I think Frank, obviously you bring a lot of insight into the channel with your vast experience. But I've been really intrigued with this whole uh, notion of diversification, which maybe we overuse that term a little bit, but it's a reality, and it's interesting to see the different places where different dealers are at in terms of how they want to diversify or if they want to diversify in the first place. Um, but kudos to you and Scott. I think Scott mentioned that you guys have done like 200 of these in a row and never missed a Friday. So God bless.
Yeah, I never shut up. That's the way it is. Well, now you're doing a Fridays with Frank. You and CJ recently did a sharp meeting out in California. What was that like for you going out on the road with CJ?
Oh, it was great to meet, obviously the sharp people, but also I think they had in excess of about 50 dealers there in Anaheim. Great experience, and again, as you know, the dealers range in size from large to small, and it's great to get the perspectives of the different dealerships and kind of where they're at in the grand scheme of things.
It's interesting to both CJ and I, your background, which is heavily into production print, is 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 a really different perspective, and we're we're excited by it because basically Scott and I mirrored each other in terms of our experiences. I mean, we talked to the same people for 40 years. not that we differentiated at all. And I feel with you, we'll have an opportunity that you'll be speaking to people I've never met. So, uh, what's your take on that?
Well, it's interesting, Frank, the encroachment that we've seen, especially over the past 5 years in particular. But I know some of the same people in that circle now, people who've moved around. You know, Dino Pagliara at Sharp is a guy that I've known for years. And I think I just saw something about Konica Minolta's been in production print now for like 20 years, and Canon just celebrated their 10th year. So, uh, and I think you and I have spoken before about you know the people that are exhibiting now at like a big show like Drupa. Kyocera was there this past spring, or last spring rather. So you're starting to see OEMs, in a space that maybe you wouldn't expect to see them in, and there's this kind of repositioning of what is printing in today's world, and where does it fit. I had a great conversation last week with Jordan Liebman at Cannata Report talking about, how print's not dead. It's just different. It's transformed, and there's so much opportunity with innovation and bridging, print and digital media.
I'm encouraged by, it's obvious you seem to really catch on to this group real quick. I've watched what you've done and I've seen what you've written, so I know that is not going to be an issue, and I'm hoping that you can really add some depth to our uh, deliverance of information to people because of your different experience and better experience in production than we've had. Is there anything that you would like to add to this in terms of to share with our audience about how you feel about where we're going?
I think the biggest thing, Frank, is just getting a better handle. I know you and I have spoken before about, uh, you know, in particular with production print, the dealers um, who, what was the survey result? You threw out a number a few days ago. Was it 12% or less than
Oh,
15% of
yeah, yeah,
dealers?
12% that are in production print.
Yeah, so obviously that number needs to go up, and the question is, how do the dealers help, or not the dealers, but the manufacturers help, hold the dealers' hands in terms of making the leap, and making it as painless as possible, because it is a little bit of an intimidating animal, as you know. It's still print, but the volumes are way different, and the clientele is a different prospect for these dealers. So getting them comfortable, that's the biggest thing, I think. And here we are a quarter of the way into the new century, and there's still only a little over 10% of dealers who are doing it. It just seems like there's such a great opportunity, but they have to get past the fear factor. Um,
Well, looks like we're going to have an exciting trip. I obviously welcome you, and great to see you. Scott's not going anywhere. He's still going to be writing, so you're going to see his byline in the magazine every month. So uh, he's not going anywhere. So I guess I'm enthralled by the expansion of that you bring to us in terms of our group. And I think our readers are going to be very pleased to have you on board. So good luck, and let's go knock them dead.
Thanks, Frank. I'm looking forward to the ride.